At 11:15 a.m. on August 28, 1940, Lieutenant Franz von Werra throttled his Messerschmitt Bf 109E4 to full power, the Daimler-Benz DB 601 engine roaring as he dove from 15,000 feet toward the green patchwork of Kent fields below. The air was thick with the acrid smell of cordite and burning oil, the sky a chaotic canvas of twisting fighters and exploding flak bursts. His squadron, the 2nd Staffel of Jagdgeschwader 53, JG-53, had crossed the English Channel just minutes earlier, escorting a formation of Dornier Do-17 bombers targeting RAF airfields. But the Royal Air Force had scrambled to meet them. Hawker Hurricanes from No. 615 Squadron climbing desperately to intercept. Von Werra, 26 years old, with sharp features and a defiant glint in his eye, spotted the enemy planes lining up on the runway at Biggin Hill. He had grown up in the shadow of the Alps, skiing and climbing, never imagining he'd be here, in the heart of the Battle of Britain, about to etch his name into aviation history. Pushing the stick forward, he entered a steep dive, wind whistling through the canopy seals. In the next 10 minutes, he would claim 9 RAF Hurricanes, 4 shot down in furious aerial combat, 5 destroyed on the ground in a daring strafing run. It was an audacious feat that made him an instant ace, but von Werra's story was just beginning. Captured, escaped, returned to fight, and then vanished without a trace over the cold North Sea. This is the tale of Franz Xaver Baron von Werra, the rebellious Luftwaffe pilot who defied odds, outwitted captors, and became a legend shrouded in mystery. If you want to see how this Swiss-born aristocrat pulled off one of the most remarkable days in WWII aerial warfare, please hit that like button. Every like helps us share these extraordinary stories with more people. Please subscribe. Back to von Werra. Franz Xaver Baron von Werra was born on July 13, 1914, in the picturesque Swiss town of Engelberg, nestled amid snow-capped peaks. His family was of minor nobility. The Baron title came from old German lineage, but post-World War economic turmoil hit hard. His father, a once prosperous businessman, lost everything in the hyperinflation of the Weimar Republic, forcing a move to Germany when Franz was young. Raised in Cologne, young Franz developed a love for adventure, skiing down treacherous slopes, racing motorcycles on winding roads, and dreaming of the skis. He was charismatic, with a quick wit and a disdain for authority that would define his life. In 1936, at 22, he joined the Luftwaffe, not out of Nazi zeal. He loathed the party's rigid ideology, preferring American jazz records smuggled from neutral Switzerland, but for the thrill of flight. Trained on biplanes like the Arado R-68, he quickly mastered the new Messerschmitt Bf 109, a revolutionary fighter with a top speed of 357 mph, inverted V12 engine, and armament of two 7.92 machine guns plus a 20 cannon firing through the propeller hub. It was a pilot's dream. Agile, fast climbing, but demanding. Landings were tricky on its narrow undercarriage, and range-limited missions to 40 minutes over England. By September 1939, as Hitler invaded Poland, von Werra was a lieutenant in Jagdgeschwader 3, JG3, flying reconnaissance over the western borders. His first combat came in the phony war, patrolling the Maginot Line. But the real test arrived in May 1940 with Fall Gelb, the blitzkrieg through the Low Countries and France. On May 10th, over the Ardennes, von Werra spotted a French Maurin-Saulnier MS-406. Diving from the sun, he closed to 300 yards, squeezed the trigger, the cannon boomed, machine guns chattered. The French plane's wing folded, spiraling into trees below. One kill. 4 days later, May 14th, a block MB-152 fell to his guns near Sedan, its pilot parachuting out. Von Werra circled, noting the chute's location, a chivalrous gesture he'd repeat often. On May 20th, two American-built Curtiss Hawk 75s over Reims. The first exploded in midair, the second limped away trailing smoke before crashing. By France's surrender in June, von Werra had 5 victories, ace status. Transferred to JG-53 Picaz, based near the Channel, he prepared for Adelrangriff, the assault on Britain. The unit's black ace of spades emblem adorned his cowling, and he adopted a lion cub named Simba as a mascot, painting its image on his fuselage. Simba roamed the airfield, a symbol of von Werra's wild spirit. The Battle of Britain erupted in July 1940. Hermann Goering's Luftwaffe aimed to destroy the RAF for air supremacy before Operation Sea Lion, the planned invasion. Over 2,500 German aircraft faced 700 RAF fighters, but British radar chained home, and the Dowding system gave defenders an edge. JG-53 flew from the Tauke, escorting bombers across 20 miles of water. Missions were grueling. Take off at dawn, climb to 20,000 feet, endure freezing cold in unpressurized cockpits, then dogfights where a split-second mistake meant death. Losses were horrific. By August, the Luftwaffe lost 500 planes. Von Werra's 6th kill came on August 25th, a Supermarine Spitfire over Dover, its elegant elliptical wings shredded by his cannon. The pilot belayed into the sea. Von Werra radioed the position for rescue, earning grudging respect from enemies. By late August, the battle intensified. RAF airfields were prime targets, their destruction key to breaking fighter command. On August 28th, intelligence reported clear weather, perfect for raids. At 900 hours, JG-53 briefed, escort 40 Do-17s from KG-76 to bomb Maidstone and Biggin Hill. Von Werra's Staffel, 12 Bf-109s, launched at 10:45, forming up at 18,000 feet. Von Werra flew Black 2, fuel tanks full, ammo belts loaded with 60 cannon rounds and 1,200 machine gun bullets. Crossing the coast near Folkestone at 11:10, they met flak, black puffs exploding around them. Then the RAF, Hurricanes from Kenley and Spitfires from Hornchurch. The sky turned into a melee. Bombers jettisoned loads early, turning back. Von Werra's wingman, Unteroffizier Müller, called, "Hurricanes, 3 o'clock low." Von Werra banked right, spotting a formation of 8 Hurricanes climbing from Biggin Hill. He radioed, "Attacking ground targets, cover me." Diving to 5,000 feet, G-forces pressing him into the seat, he leveled at 500 feet, speed 300 mph. The airfield loomed, planes taxiing, ground crew scattering. Anti-aircraft guns opened up, tracers zipped past. Von Werra lined up the first Hurricane, finger on the trigger. At 200 yards he fired, a short burst. Shells impacted the cockpit. Flames erupted, the plane slewing off the runway. One ground kill, 11:18 a.m. Without stopping, he pulled up slightly, banked and dove again. Second Hurricane. Machine guns raked the wings, fuel igniting. It exploded on the tarmac. 2. Flak burst nearby, shrapnel pinging his fuselage. Third. Cannon shells punched through the engine, black smoke billowing as it collapsed. 3. Ground fire intensified. Bullets holed his radiator, but he pressed on. Fourth, a strafing pass across the line, bullets stitching the fuselage. The plane flipped. 4. Fifth, final run, low over hangars, hitting a parked Hurricane's tail, it crumpled. 5 ground kills, 11:22 a.m. But the air was alive with threats. 2 Spitfires from No. 222 Squadron dove on him, guns blazing. Von Werra yanked the stick, climbing in a chandelle, using the 109's superior rate. At 11:23 he reversed, catching one in a deflection shot. Wing root hit, plane spinning down. One aerial. The second Spitfire closed, 100 yards, firing. Tracers whizzed by his canopy. Von Werra rolled inverted, dove, then zoomed up. Head-on pass at 11:25. Cannon boomed, the Spitfire's propeller shattered, exploding mid-air, 2 aerial. Moments later, a Hurricane crossed his path, protecting a damaged comrade. Von Werra ambushed from below, hitting the belly tanks, fuel sprayed, igniting. The plane cartwheeled into woods. 3 aerial, 11:27 a.m. Another Hurricane, isolated, turned to engage. Von Werra feinted left, snapped right, firing at 50 yards. The cockpit canopy shattered, pilot slumping. 4 aerial, 9 total, 11:28 a.m. Ammo low, radiator leaking coolant, Von Werra disengaged, racing low over hedges back to the channel. British AA fire pursued, but he made it, landing at Latauke at 12:05, wheels touching with a screech. Ground crew rushed over. 9 Hurricanes, he exclaimed, climbing out, helmet off, hair matted with sweat. Skeptics abounded, but radio intercepts and recon photos confirmed. Biggin Hill damaged, multiple wrecks. Goering awarded him the Iron Cross First Class. Propaganda hailed the Baron's raid. But glory was fleeting. On September 5th, during another escort over Kent, Von Werra's luck ran out. Engaging Spitfires from No. 603 Squadron near Marden, his 109 was hit, coolant line severed, engines seizing. Smoke filled the cockpit. He glided toward a field at Love's Farm, Winchett Hill. Wheels up, landing at 12:30 p.m., ploughing furrows in the dirt. Captured by Home Guard armed with pitchforks, he was taken to Maidstone Police Station, then London for interrogation at the London Cage. Charming interrogators with tailies of Simba, he revealed nothing beyond name and rank. Transferred to Grizedale Hall POW Camp No. 1 in the Lake District, a stately manor turned prison for officers. Von Werra wasted no time. On October 7th, during a supervised walk, he dove into heather, evading dogs and searchlights for 5 days in pouring rain, surviving on berries. Recaptured near Carlisle, cold and hungry, he was punished with solitary. Sent to Tougher Camp No. 13 at Swanwick, Derbyshire, he joined Operation Olympia, a 200-foot tunnel dug under the huts using beds, slats and tins. On December 20th, 1940, 5 escaped, including Von Werra. Disguised as Dutch RAF Captain Van Lot, he reached Codner Park railway station, then RAF Hucknall. Bluffing about a crashed Dutch plane, he nearly convinced mechanics to let him test a Hurricane. Arrested when his accent faltered, he was shipped to Canada aboard the Duchess of York, arriving Halifax, January 1941. Camp 30, Bowmanville, Ontario. Remote, guarded, surrounded by wilderness. But during the train transfer from Halifax, Von Werra saw his chance. At 2200 hours, January 21st, he pried open a window, jumped into -20 degrees sea snow as the train slowed near the St. Lawrence River. Evading patrols, he crossed the frozen river on foot to neutral United States, reaching Ogdensburg, New York. Contacting the German consulate in New York City, he was smuggled south. Bus to Texas, train to Mexico City, flight to Rio de Janeiro, ship to Barcelona, train to Rome. Arriving Berlin April 18, 1941, he debriefed with Goering, who laughed at the tailies. Hitler awarded the Knight's Cross for the escape, not kills. Propaganda exploded, the one that got away. Von Werra wrote a report improving POW interrogations, then returned to JG 53 on the Eastern Front. June 22, 1941, Operation Barbarossa. JG 53 over Poland, then Ukraine. Von Werra's first Soviet kill, an I-16 Rata on July 1st near Lviv, shot down in a turning fight. July 3rd, 2 SB-2 bombers over Kiev, cannon shells ripping them apart. July 5th, A MiG-3 outmaneuvered at low altitude. By mid-July, 13 Soviet victories, total 21. His style, free hunting, ignoring formations using deflection shots. But the front was hell. Mud airfields, constant sorties, comrades lost to AA and partisans. Transferred to IIJG-3 in the Netherlands for coastal defense, based at Katwijk. Routine patrols over the North Sea. On October 25, 1941, at 14:30 hours, von Werra took off in new Bf 109 F4 work NR 8780 for a test flight after maintenance. Clear skies, light winds. At 14:45, radio crackled. Engine trouble, overheating. Smoke reported from the exhaust. Comrades circled, urging bailout. He tried gliding back, but at 1500 the plane inverted, dove into the sea north of Vlissingen. No parachute. Waves swallowed it. Searches by boats and planes found oil slicks, no wreckage, no body. Vanished. Theories swirled. Mechanical failure from rushed production. Sabotage by anti-Nazi elements. Defection, von Werra's Swiss ties and disdain for Hitler-fueled rumors. Exhaustion from escapes. Official report. Accident. His squadron mourned. Simba was adopted. Post-war history inspired Kendall Burt's book, The One That Got Away, 1956, and the film starring Hardy Kruger, 1957. Memorials in Engelberg and Cologne honor him. No grave to see his tomb. Von Werra wasn't just an ace. He was a symbol of human defiance, chivalry amid war's brutality. 21 victories that day of 9 a highlight. He lived fast, fought hard, vanished mysteriously. Like many vets, his tale echoes PTSD, lost youth. If moved, hit like. Subscribe, notifications on. Comment, watching from US, Germany, UK, family pilot stories. You're keeping Franz von Werra alive. Thank you.